Welcome into the Michigan Football Report. I am your host, James Yoder. We're going to do a little bi-weekend recruiting update, and we've had some new developments in the recruitment of three-star wide receiver Brenden Rice, Jerry's son, that I want to start off with because, folks, I'm almost never wrong, and if I am, when I put a 4 Harbaugh ahead FACK, I'm going to be the first to tell you about it. You're not going to hear about it from anywhere else. Brenden Rice, son of Jerry. Some people say he might be a little bit, underranked as a 3-star wide receiver out of the state of Arizona. Not a great relationship with his dad, from what we've been told, but nevertheless, I said it was 4 Harbaugh heads. Looked everything I was told. Said he has given Michigan his basic word. He wanted to come there. All this different stuff. Things seem to be changing. May want to stay out on the West Coast. Visited Michigan for Middle Tennessee State game a couple weekends ago, so that was good news. Visited Colorado last weekend for the Nebraska upset that they pulled. And it looks like he's going to be making a visit to Oregon very in the near future. So I don't necessarily think Brenden Rice is trending towards Michigan. From the folks that follow this stuff a little closer, the blog boys, recruiting sites, if you will, they are kind of putting the word out there. I talked to my recruiting source who says, he might not end up in the class. Looks like he's eyeing west, not following through potentially on the word that he gave the Michigan coaches, the Michigan recruiting coordinators over the summer when he made a couple visits, and according to what I've been told, may have verbally committed to the Michigan. You got a Michigan box there, Brett, on that graphic. Don't push that. But nevertheless, Brenden Rice going to Oregon or Colorado for visits after the Michigan one. Likely he will end up at one of those schools is what I'm leading the show with today. So that is the word from Brenden Rice starting to hit this weekend recruiting update. And folks, you saw it to start the show. Here is the Michigan football no turnover chain. You 2020, 2021, and 2022 recruits out there, if you're sick of Ohio State and Alabama offering you cars and cash to come to the school, I've got something substantial. You come to Michigan, you get the ball in your hands, and you don't fumble the ball, you're going to get one of these no turnover chains. You can bring it back to me. This is platinum, diamond encrusted Michigan football helmet. This thing cost me $250K. I saw OBJ wearing that watch. I dropped $250,000 on this Michigan football turnover chain. You're going to get a replica model of this, but nevertheless, walk into a party after the Wisconsin game, no turnover. I'm giving away these to all the Michigan football players who don't fumble, touch the ball, skill guys, against Wisconsin. So if you're a recruit, what's up? All right, we've got a Michigan football recruiting rumors 3-pack for you on a Sunday, a day after a pretty decent day of college football in the third full Saturday. Talk a little about J.J. McCarthy because I was in Ann Arbor for the Army game. Wasn't really on top of all the ancillary outside stories that were going on throughout the game. No Wi-Fi. Get some damn Wi-Fi, Michigan. Who said that? And I kind of got back into the scene. J.J. McCarthy was at the game. That may be not news to you. That is a 4 Harbaugh head. But I bring this up and I want to talk a little bit about McCarthy for a couple reasons. Number one is, gosh, I don't know. I'm having a tough time understanding how Michigan is able to sell a kid like McCarthy who could go nearly anywhere, I would assume, to go to college, of what kind of offense he's going to run at Michigan because of what he saw against Army, what he saw the second half against Middle Tennessee State. So he's been committed to Michigan since May, since his end of his sophomore year, and him and Jim Harbaugh had a cool moment, which is really one of the reasons I wanted to show this early in the show. Talk about McCarthy because I feel this young man is going to be hyped up, maybe like Shane Morris was for a couple of years before he came to Michigan. He turned out to be, not much of a player. You go back to the late 90s, Drew Henson was basically a 3-time Heisman Trophy winner, if you ask Michigan fans, when he was a junior in high school. Only started 9 games or 8 games in his entire Michigan career. But this photo is pretty cool. Take a look here on your screen. It's Tom Brady and Jim Harbaugh on the photo at Schembechler Hall, behind them, and then it's McCarthy and Jim Harbaugh, present day, reenacting the footage, giving one of these big foreshadowing guy. History is only meant to repeat itself, so I'm going to go out there. I'm going to go out there and forecast 6 Super Bowls at least for J.J. McCarthy, just based on that. This is This is bound to happen. But I'm excited for McCarthy. But Jim Harbaugh better not stop recruiting him. He looks very committed to Michigan. He's all over things on Twitter, pro-Michigan. But don't have a rudimentary-looking, boring offense again this season, not giving it to your NFL wide receivers, and then tell J.J. McCarthy, I'm going to prepare you as a five-star quarterback to be in the NFL, Jim Harbaugh. So I always get concerned when big-time recruits, especially on the offensive side, come to a home game where Michigan plays very poorly. So not saying there's anything behind that, but don't stop recruiting J.J. McCarthy, Michigan. And if you want to keep kids like him and keep getting him into the future, start playing offense like it's 2019 and not 1984. Folks, a lot of NFL games on today. You got a Monday Night Football, Browns, Jets, and then Michigan against Wisconsin, and all kinds of college football and NFL games next week. Do your betting, your sports betting with our partner, BetDSI. Promo code is GoBlue. Go to chatsports.com/bet. You make sure you select that promo code when you make your first deposit. 120% deposit bonus. Let me do a quick math for you guys. You put in $100, you get an extra $120 in your account. You put in $200, an extra $240, all the way up to $500 to get $600 for free. Imagine you went to a bank and said, here, let's deposit $200. And they're like, $200? No, $440. That's how much you're depositing. That's what you got going on with BetDSI. Use that promo code GoBlue to make sure you get your deposit bonus. All right, guys, are you excited about recruiting? We haven't done anything on recruiting, and people ask me recruiting questions all the time. A lot of people, on the YouTube comments, Instagram, Twitter DMs, etc. And I basically said, look, I am excited about recruiting near signing day in February, and then when it heats up in the spring and into the summer. But in the season, I'm a season guy, but haven't touched on it. Wanted to update on a few of these stories. I kind of know, honestly. I don't really have any interest in recruiting because until I see something changing with the coaching staff and the offensive philosophy, you can get every recruit in the world, and it's not going to matter. They're not going to beat Ohio State. So I'm giving it a no. Let me know what you guys think. Some of you guys are just recruiting diehards, so I'm sure we'll get a ton of yeses. All right, guys. How about Myles Hinton? Myles Hinton, the five-star offensive tackle, the younger brother of Michigan defensive lineman, the freshman Chris Hinton, who was a five-star himself for much of the recruiting process. Didn't end up being a five-star when all things shook out, I don't believe, but hasn't really gotten to games much at all. A couple snaps against Middle Tennessee State, none versus Army, I believe. So a lot of chatter. I've had several people ask me this, so I looked into it. Is he thinking about coming to Michigan? He's visiting. He's seeing his brother. His brother's giving good reviews about the thing. I'm giving this one Harbaugh head. Unless I hear something substantial, nothing has changed in this storyline in the 2 years plus I've been following Myles Hinton's recruitment. When Michigan first started, recruiting his older brother Chris, a year apart, both out of the northern part of Atlanta in Georgia, is he was going to Michigan unless he got into Stanford. If he got into Stanford as a student, he was going to go there as a football player. Few people know this, but Stanford, I think, the only major college football program that does not have any academic, what's the word I'm looking for? Yeah, leniency when it comes to athletes. So the worst student who gets accepted into Stanford as far as credentials, they'll power rank them 1 through 500. Any athlete who comes on scholarship has to have better qualified than the last player. So Myles Hinton is certainly a very elite student, both in the academic side and school, the testing. So nothing's changed there. Just because he visits Michigan to see his older brother, get a little bit of the college life before he goes off to kind of a boring Stanford campus. But David Shaw, great coach. They lost last week ago against USC, but I don't think there's much of a chance. Maybe things change. Maybe the parents say, we'd love to have you guys playing together and something changes, but as of now, I don't believe it's there. So if you see this one out there, don't pay it much mind unless, things change drastically as we go into the future. But Michigan's got a pretty good recruiting class. Not nearly as high as the teams, as you see here, the top 5. It's kind of funny how recruiting's been working the last few years. Is really the top 5, top 10 recruiting classes mirror the top 5, top 10 in the polls almost to a fault. Clemson 1, Alabama 2. You see Ohio State there bumping into the top 5. Georgia, LSU, of course, almost resembles the top 5 to a T. Texas, Auburn, Notre Dame, Florida State. I wouldn't be surprised to see them fall out of that as their season continues to go not the way they hope it would under year 2 under Willie Taggart. No Oklahoma. Oklahoma really the only team in the top 5, 6, 7 that are not in this top 10 of recruiting, and Florida State the only team that is outside of the top 15 or so that's in the top 10 recruiting. So that's the word in recruiting. Michigan, hopefully we hold on to a top 10 class. Guys, I'm still with this team. I'm still excited about the game on Saturday in Madison, Wisconsin. Michigan going up against a top 15 rated Wisconsin team. So I'm excited. I'm typing me in the comments section. I want to see who's with the team no matter what. Even though I've been negative in the past, I've been upset when Michigan's lost games and they shouldn't. I still watch every game. I still am following and bringing you guys information. I'm excited about it no matter what. So type me below on YouTube. So let people know, hey, even though the Joel Klatz and the Herb Streets of the world are trashing Michigan football program, we still have the most loyal, dedicated fan base out there in all of college football. And guys, we haven't got the schedule yet. I'm pretty certain about it, though. You can use the My TV Choice app this weekend. Michigan, Wisconsin, high noon game in Wisconsin. You do it with My TV Choice. If you're not going to the game, if you are, shout out you. Let me tell you a little about it. You take your iPhone, you download the app, chatsports.com/mytv, right across the bottom of the screen. You launch the app when the game's on. You either let it listen to your TV or you just say, watching Michigan, Wisconsin, boom, it's done. You connect to your Wi-Fi. They do the rest. Game goes to commercial breaks. You see awesome sports news updates from Chat Sports and others during the commercial break. The game comes back on. They switch it automatically back to the game. You don't miss a minute of the action, and you are entertained the entire day. So go ahead and download it. chatsports.com/mytv. My TV Choice. Make sure you let us know in the comments on YouTube when you do. All right, third rumor. Start off with kind of a piece of news. Now we've got rumors. And this one I'm kind of concerned about, folks. Let me just say it. I think he's a good player. Some have said Michigan's got the top 2 safety commits in the country a year after getting Daxton Hill, the number 1 safety prospect last year. Jordan Morant, is he decommitting? I'm giving this one 3 Harbaugh heads, so don't come at me with you said he was decommitting. You told me that he was eating lunch at Jimbo Fisher's house. I didn't say any of that. I'm saying I'm a dot connector, better than anybody out there when it comes to this stuff. When a player who is committed to Michigan all of a sudden starts removing photos from his social media, his Instagram account, starts taking things out of his bio that say Michigan commit and all this different stuff, which he's taken out and put back and all this different stuff. A lot of the pro-Michigan stuff is now missing from his social media profiles. He has only committed to Michigan for less than 3 months and is taking an official visit, currently on it, at Texas A&M, planning to visit USC before signing day, folks. I don't know about you, but if you're from the part of the country he's from, an East Coast guy from New Jersey, and you committed to Michigan before your senior year of high school, maybe you wanted to get in your first plane trip or whatever it is. You're going to have plenty of traveling to do as a college athlete over the next 3, 4, 5 years. So some people will say that. Let them take their trips. But hey, if your girlfriend's texting other guys, maybe something's going on there. If your recruit's texting other coaches, same thing. So if he's taking this trip to Texas A&M, if he's still trying to get out to USC, no matter what issues they may have or a coaching uncertainty, that spells something a little bit uneasy for me to guarantee that he's going to be on this part of the Michigan football team in 2020 or part of this signing class coming up in December. So Jordan Morant, Michigan football commitment, has been committed since mid to late June. Safety out of New Jersey, trending towards potential decommitment. It's definitely the one of all the guys they've got committed that I'm keeping my eye on right now. So keep an eye out for that one. All right, thanks so much for watching the Michigan Football Report on this bye weekend. Hoping to kind of get you through to next week. We've got Michigan football rumors from Friday right here. Got my Michigan football grades from the Army game. Make sure you hit the subscribe button and shout out the turnover chain when you see it on social media. Go Blue.